We're here at the 52nd annual CES. There's over 200,000 people attending, over 4,000 exhibitors. That's over 73 million square feet of exhibitor space. If you spent 1 minute in every single booth, you'd be here for 3 days walking, and no one has time for that. So we're going to break down the best things we're seeing here at CES. Come along. Domino's one-click pizza? Yes, please. I'm not controlling this. But what is it supposed to do? I'm gonna be Kardashian in no time. So we're here in the South Hall. We're gonna check out all things audio. There's tons of headphone companies here this year, microphone companies, because as the power of listening becomes more and more important to consumers, and more of us are listening to content and not seeing it, headphone companies are responding in turn and creating really amazing quality pieces of hardware to enhance that power of listening. So come along. And we're here at Biodynamics booth, and they've invented something that's really interesting that customizes the power of listening according to your biology. So in their headphones, they have sensors, and those sensors sync up with an app, and that app actually measures and monitors what you need biologically to be able to hear the experience according to its full potential. So the headphones actually adjust according to the shape of your ears, what's going on inside of your ears, how powerful your listening is, so that experience is truly personalized for you in a way that brands or publishers don't have to do, because the headphones actually customize it according to what you need. Completely silent, can't hear anything. More and more headphones are becoming completely noise canceling. I just put on a pair right behind me and I couldn't hear a thing, which I think really speaks to the need from consumers to just completely disconnect, because we're completely overloaded with media all the time, and headphones offers this opportunity to let people disconnect. So we're here at Samsung, and they've unveiled their new satellite microphone. The satellite microphone is really interesting because it really implicates this rise in the wave of podcasting as more and more creators are turning to this new medium. Because the satellite microphone is a broadcast quality microphone that you can just plug into your iPhone, your iPad, any device where you want to record, and it has that broadcast quality that radio creators held for so long. So I think what Samsung is implicating here is that more and more people are listening to podcast content, which means we need more and more creators. So things like this are really going to drive this wave of quality content in the audio space. So Me Audio here, they've created a new type of headphones specific for guitarists, specific for drummers, and they vary based off of their frequency, so these musicians can create the best type of music according to what they're hearing. Now, I think this has big implications for sonic branding in particular, because hardware is now becoming more and more specified according to specific sounds, which will open up new opportunities for creating brand identities. These are really sick headphones. All the technology, and Benji's the best thing here. So we're here at Sennheiser, and Sennheiser has created a pair of headphones that actually also function as a pair of glasses that create AR experiences. So that's pairing two of the biggest trends that we're seeing here at CES. AR paired with the power of sound to create this full sensorial experience that not only enhances what you're seeing via the power of AR, but also really surrounds you with the power of audio. As it relates to augmented reality and augmented reality content, bringing it to the masses, companies like Pfizer X are making it even more democratized, because what they're doing is they're taking people's smartphones, and you insert the smartphone into a headset, the visor flips down, and it creates AR overlays in the world around you, which means that AR content is going to be increasingly easier for brands to participate in. Thinking beyond the cool factor of just content and brand messaging, it's important to remember that things like AR are actually incredibly useful as it relates to manufacturing and training, which ultimately just lends itself to the credibility and how quickly this space is growing. So right behind me is a video game that is powered by eye tracking. So no longer do gamers need to actually have that physical hardware where they're using their thumbs, but it can actually be intuitive, because as you're looking around the world around you, the game is going to move accordingly, which means that video games are going to become increasingly blurred between the lines of reality and virtual reality with things like eye tracking. Tesla suit is super interesting because it's leading us into these next wave of like superhuman-like capabilities where we can put on a suit like this and have enhanced biometric experiences, because it's measuring things like our heart rate, our EKG, and just amplifies that human experience to make us like superheroes, which is really cool. So brands like iHealth are digitizing the healthcare experience, which obviously just makes consumers live a more seamless, easier life. And digitizing all this data also has implications around privacy that are obviously a huge conversation in the advertising world right now. So we're here at Quell, which is a wearable technology that helps manage chronic pain for people, which goes along that theme that we were just talking about around helping consumers live better lives by digitizing their experiences. So I'd love to hear from you how this works and what your point of view is on the future of health.
Absolutely. So Quell is a wearable device for treating chronic pain. It works through electrical nerve stimulation. So what we're doing is we actually stimulate the sensory nerves on the leg, and that helps to carry a signal up to the brain, and it works in the central nervous effect. So this is triggering in the brain the release of your body's own natural pain-blocking opioids. So the really cool thing about that is the fact that you can always wear it in the same location on the leg, but it can actually help with blocking pain from different parts of the body, like your low back or even your upper extremities.
Sleep Score Labs created an entire suite of products, all aimed at helping people improve their mental health by getting a better night's sleep.
You can adjust different sound and put different.
And even as it relates to health and wellness, we're seeing products like this sleep sound mixer that completely just disconnect you from the world. So even at CES, it's sometimes just about taking you out of that technology experience and allowing you to do things like meditate. So there's even things like this Dreamlight mask that actually just cover your face and give you this full sensorial experience, really just proving that even around things like sleep, we just want to be as disconnected as possible in so many instances.
Start you off there.
That's easy. Okay. I have to do this? Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. That was totally disorienting. Hey, we're here at Hypervision, which is a hologram company. What's interesting about Hypervision is they're backed by Sir Richard Branson and Mark Cuban, and they're taking these fast, quick emitting rays of light in a very fast-paced way, which makes for a really disrupting way to catch consumers' attention. So why we like this is that it becomes a really disruptive format for storytelling that really is very jarring to people. So for brands that have a really distinct story to tell or a really distinct image to demonstrate, holograms might be an interesting option to consider. Surprisingly, something that we're seeing that's really interesting here is this power of nostalgia. So instead of the latest and greatest shiny objects, we're reverting back to games like Pong, and they're bringing back these vintage games that we all grew up playing and loving, which is a really interesting notion about what the future of technology means if we're all feeling really nostalgic. Brands are always looking towards the future. They're always looking towards what's next. Brands should be thinking sometimes about what's behind them and what they've done in the past. I don't even know where to start. Did I press A? Clearly not a gamer. Always one of my favorites at CES, the Clarisonic. I'm a huge Clarisonic user personally. They're owned by L'Oreal, and they were one of the early adopters of marrying beauty with technology, which today is one of the most lucrative spaces that the tech industry can play in. So they've taken their traditional product, which is a skincare cleansing brush, and they've now integrated different options into it, like a facial massage and eye massage. But even more than that, it's now an actual connected device, and they have within the connected device a loyalty program tracker that tracks your usage, your percentages, ultimately giving people rewards on top of how much they're using the product, which has huge implications for how even more we're marrying beauty with technology. So this guy massages right under your eyes, which I will definitely need after a long day in Vegas. SK2 is reimagining the skincare experience. SK2 actually has facial recognition software inside their booth here that scans your skin, tells you your skin age, and then gives you a multitude of product recommendations all through that facial recognition software. They're even linking the offline and online experience. So at the end of this, you can just put your hands out, select which products you want through a digital sensor, and then after you do that, it puts it in your shopping basket and have it shipped to you immediately. It's a really interesting application and even more demonstration of how lucrative beauty and technology can be. So smart mirrors have come a long way since we first started seeing them here at CES. The latest and greatest are now plug and playing different streaming platforms like YouTube. So imagine as a consumer if you're watching your favorite influencer while you're getting ready actually in the mirror, and you don't need a second screen because the screen is actually the mirror in front of you. Again, the bigger implication, every surface is going to be a screen in the future. I knew golf was so scary. end of my golf career.
Player 2.
So for the last few years at CES, the connected home has obviously been one of the biggest topics of conversation. I think 2019 in particular is the larger conversation of how many SKUs are entering the marketplace, because there's going to be a lot of them, which just ultimately means it's going to be even cheaper and even faster for people to have a connected home. Things like connected doorbells, for example, which you unlock with your voice via Alexa or via Google, just make it that much safer for consumers, but it's becoming less and less expensive to do so. So as if Amazon didn't have access to pretty much all part of our lives, they now have access to our homes. So they've invented something called Key, and Key is a cloud-based service in which consumers can give access to Amazon couriers to enter into their homes. What this means for marketers is now we're just breaking down that barrier of instant gratification even more, because Amazon can now pretty much enter our homes like that if a consumer wants them to, as e-commerce continues to explode. Always a staple here at Tech West, let's go check out Whirlpool. Okay, so last year at Whirlpool, we saw them acquire Yummly, which is a recipe-based publisher. What's even more interesting this year is that they've actually made an app that has ingredient recognition, and it gives you actual recipes to make based off of the ingredients in your fridge. So watch how this happens. You press the camera on the app, you hold the camera up in the fridge, and it immediately begins scanning all these different products. So it recognizes the asparagus, the eggs, the milk, all these different things. I can swipe up, and we can get Parmesan asparagus egg muffins, asparagus frittata, a variety of different recipes, all based off of what you have in your fridge. Now imagine the marketing implications behind this specifically for food brands. There's a huge opportunity here as the integration between hardware and publishers becomes even more blurred. All right, that's it for me. I'm gonna go have a glass of champagne and relax after another amazing, although a little bit exhausting CES. We'll see you again next year.